Okay guys, this is the second video for Little Wing. This is the cover by Stevie Ray Vaughan, not the original Jimi Hendrix version. And so far, we've gotten this far in the song. Okay? Now, what we've got next is pretty simple. You've got a little bit of repetition here, but we need to learn what fingers to hold down first. So what we're going to do after we play that last bass note there on the E string with our thumb, remember we're playing that with our thumb, you're going to take your first finger and put it in the 3rd fret of the B string. So that's the 3rd fret, and the B string is the second one from the bottom. You're going to take your middle finger and put it, or your second finger, and put it on the 4th fret of the G string. Okay? Now that's your chord you're going to play. Okay? But you're actually going to, as soon as you play that chord, you're going to hammer in the 3rd fret of the G string with your 3rd finger. Sorry, not the 3rd fret, the 5th fret. So you're going to use your 3rd finger to come down in front of your middle finger to hammer that 5th fret. So you play both the B string and the G string, and then you hammer like that. So it's going to go, alright? And it's actually kind of a fast hammer, so you're going to go like that instead of letting it ring a long time. Okay, so you're going to go, and then you just leave that finger there and pluck it again. So that's 3rd on the B string, 5th on the G string again. And then you pick that finger up and do another one like you did the first time. So pluck it and hammer again. Okay? Then pick that finger back up again and play 3rd and 4th frets again. So all together that's going to be, okay? Just like that. And then you're going to use your 3rd finger now to play the 5th fret on the D string. Okay, so that's going to sound like, okay, one more time. And then I use my first finger here to go from the, you can let up this chord and go from the 3rd fret on the E string, the thick E string, to the 5th fret. Okay, it's just a bass note, you kind of let it ride up. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, now we have a few notes here that we're going to play, but before we do that we have to do a rake. What that is you're just going to kind of slowly go through some of your strings, and you don't have to be so exact with this. I've seen some people, or I've heard some people say it's got to be just on the G, the B, and the D string, but I just, just hit some of your strings like this on the way up while you're muting them. It's almost like a chuck, but it's not so fast. It's not like that. It's kind of like, okay? Okay, so you play that rake. After you play this, bass note, then you play that rake, mute your strings, and go across them kind of slowly. And then I want you to play 5th fret on the A string. Okay, so that's 5th fret. And then 7th fret on the A string, then 5th fret on the D string, and then open on the thick E string. Okay? So those notes again are 5th on the A, 7th on the A, 5th on the D, open on the E. Okay? So including the rake, it's going to sound like this. Oh, sorry. Okay? Now we get to our next set of notes, and what you're going to do here is actually bar across the 5th fret on the B string and the G string. Okay, so remember, the B is the 2nd string from the bottom, the G is the 3rd string from the bottom. So I've got my first finger across those 2 strings in the 5th fret. Okay, so that's the 5th fret. And we're going to play them, and after we play them, we're going to do kind of what we did before. We're going to hammer using our 3rd finger in the 7th fret on the G. So it's going to kind of arc over this B string. You want to try not to touch it. So you're going to go like that. Okay? You can see a little better from that angle. Just like that. Okay? So you do that once, and then you pick that third finger back up and pluck the fifth frets again, G and B string. Okay, so it's alright, so starting from that rake, it's going to sound like this. Okay, now you're going to go to the D string, and you're going to play the 5th fret on the D string and hammer to the 7th on the D string. Okay, so again that was, and here we're going to actually keep this third finger here on the 7th fret of the D string, and our first finger is going to be also playing the 5th fret of the G string. So we've got these two notes, 5th fret on the G and 7th fret on the D. We're going to play those together. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so let's add that to all of it, starting at the rake. So it's going to be okay. One more time, a little closer this time, so you can see good. Okay, then after you play that, we're going to go to the A string now. That's the 5th string from the bottom, and this is the 5th fret right here. You can see the dot, and you're going to play that 5th fret and hammer with your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A string. So play that. Now after you hammer that 7th fret on the A string, use your 1st finger to bar across the 5th fret on the D and the G and play those. So what I like to do here is when I'm going to play that 5th fret on the A string, I just let my 1st finger kind of flatten across all 3 strings, the A, the D, and the G. That way I've got them all pressed down, so I just go like that, because you do it 2 times in a row like that. Okay, so 5th hammer 7th, then 5th on the D and the G, and then do it again. Okay, so if you're confused, let's go from the rake and put it all together. Okay, so I'm going to play this slowly. You rake, and then okay, one more time. Sorry. Okay, and then yeah, that's right. Just making sure. And then okay. So we're probably ready to go to our next part. So after you do the 2 hammering parts right there where you go, then you have an open on the E string. Okay? You actually have 2, but the next one comes right before the next part. So you're going to go, and then like that. So what I'm doing is open on the E string, and then one more time before I bar across the 3rd fret on the E and the B string, and I play the G open. Okay, so I strum those 3 strings and then hammer with my 3rd finger in the 5th fret of the E string. Okay, so and then I pick that finger back up and play those strings again, G, B, and E, and then I play just the 3rd fret on the E string by itself. Okay, so it's okay. Okay. Now let's go from the rake and put all that together. So slowly, we've got. Yeah. Okay. Now hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you, and that's another section that you can work on. So I would go ahead and practice that. It's a good length for you. So one more note I forgot to make in the first video. This song is tuned down half a step. So it's like E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. So if you're playing along with the song, these frets won't work. And you can't really just change where you play it on the guitar because there's so many open strings. So you kind of have to tune down a half step or just not play along with the song when you're doing it. You're playing the same frets and everything that he is, but you're just tuned to standard, so you're a half step higher. And what that basically is a fret's worth. So it's basically like this much worth of the string is tuned down. So you won't sound exactly in tune. You'll sound a little bit higher than him. So just wanted to make that note because I forgot it in the last video. Okay, thanks for watching and practice it hard.